Well, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. And for those of you who are watching later, I'm glad that you're here and that you're taking your time to share in the collective coming together to acknowledge displaced persons by war, by violence. I'm going to put into the chat the link if you choose to donate to Mennonite Central Committee. Then you can scroll down if you're choosing to donate to that organization. You can choose where that goes, and there is a specific link for Ukraine. There's also links to other disaster, other concerns in the world that might be happening, and I'm going to share that link in the text in YouTube as well. So I'd like to invite us to center. I'm going to use a centering that I learned from one of my teachers, Joanna Macy, and it's sort of positioning ourselves here in time, but as well as calling upon our ancestors and the those who have yet to arrive here in this planet. So it's sort of situating ourselves and feeling that connection we have to the past and to the future and anchoring ourselves into the present. So you're welcome to find a way to sit that feels comfortable to you, feeling the support of the solid surface of the ground, of the chair, the floor, whatever you're connecting to in this moment. You're welcome to just notice what's present in your body, what's present in your feeling body, your emotional body, your thinking body. And just inviting yourself to clear that, sort of like you're wiping a glass clean, sort of clearing that space with using the breath, breathing in, just letting the breath enter. Breathing out, allowing the breath to release. And we call first here on the beings of the past. Be with us now, all you have gone before. You are ancestors, our teachers. You who have walked and loved and faithfully tended this earth. Be present to us now that we may carry on the legacy you bequeathed us. Aloud and silently in our hearts, we say your names and see your faces. We call also on the beings of the present. All you with whom we live and work on this endangered planet. All you with whom we share this brink of time, be with us now. Fellow humans of others and those of other species, help us to open our collective will and wisdom. Aloud and silently, we say your names, picture your faces. And lastly, we call on the beings of the future. All you who will come after us on this earth, be with us now. All you who are waiting to be born in the ages to come, it is for your sakes that we work to heal our planet, our world. We cannot picture your faces or say your names, you have none yet. But we would feel the reality of your claim on life. It helps us to be faithful in the tasks that must be done, so that there will be for you, as there was for our ancestors, blue sky, fruitful land, and clear waters and peace. Taking a deep breath in and releasing. And I'm going to read at this time. I'm going to share, this was something that we read in my faith community. It comes from Mennonite Church USA. I'm going to paraphrase it a bit. Our hearts and prayers go out to the people of Ukraine. And I will add, may we also be mindful of those who remain displaced by conflict in Syria, in Yemen, in Ethiopia, and Afghanistan. May our hearts and prayers go to all these peoples as they seek refuge from the terrible effects of war. May they find shelter in the arms of God as they try to calm their fears, as they worry about where to find food and shelter, as they witness the death that war brings, as they leave their homes behind to find safety. Deliver us from all the madness of believing that good can come from violence. Give us the courage to resist the myths of violence. Forgive us our pride as a super-military power. Give us the compassion that gives birth to generosity and hospitality. Let us show love and mercy for those fleeing war. Mold us as a people of peace. And may the God of our understanding heal our prayers in the cry of the people from the Ukraine, those at the border of our own country, those in Syria, Yemen, Ethiopia, and Afghanistan. Breathing in and breathing out. I have another reading, and then we're going to invite ourselves into a practice, and then we will enter into our time of mantra. And this is a reading from, I love this book. It's a reading from Out of the Ordinary, Poems and Reflections for Every Season. And so this is, one of the things that several of us have spoken about is the challenge that we face, and it's not a challenge, it's a privilege, that we are in spaces of relative comfort and security while we see others on the earth suffering. And part of my takeaway from this reading is to cultivate our awareness of our privilege and find ways to leverage that in ways that make sense for us. So this reading is an apology to our fellow humans in places and spaces that lack essential resources, where people don't have the ability to freely and safely navigate and live in peace. And so this is just a reading for us to gain perspective. To my fellow humans, while I was deciding which oat bran cereal to eat this morning, you were searching the ground for leftover grains from a passing wheat truck. While I was jogging at the health center, you were working in the wealthy landowner's field under a scorching sun. While I was choosing between diet and regular soda, your parched lips were yearning for a sip of clean water. While I complained about the poor service in the gourmet restaurant, you were gratefully eating a bowl of rice. While I poured my fresh and better detergent into the washing machine, you stood in the river with your bundle of clothes. While I watched the evening news on my widescreen television set, you were being terrorized and taunted by a dictatorial government. While I read the newspaper and drank my cup of steaming coffee, you walked the long dusty miles to a crowded schoolroom to learn how to read. While I scanned the ads for a bargain on an extra piece of clothing, you woke up and put on the same shirt and pants that you have worn for many months. While I built a 14-room house for the three of us, your family of 10 found shelter in a one-room hut. While I went to church last Sunday and felt more than slightly bored, you stood on the land with those around you and felt gratitude to God for being alive one more day. So my fellow humans, Forgive me for my arrogance and my indifference. Forgive me for my greed of always wanting newer, bigger, and better things. Forgive me for not doing my part to change the unjust systems that keep you suffering and impoverished. I offer you my promise to become more aware of your situation and to change my life as I work for the transformation of our world. So letting that land, breathing in, feeling the breath enter, breathing out, feeling the breath release. Just noticing how those words landed in your body, sitting with the discomfort of them, allowing ourselves not to just brush past discomfort, but to let it allow us to sit and breathe into it so that we can allow it to transform us. And I'm going to share a practice of transformation. It's a practice that comes from the Buddhist tradition. It's called Tonglen. And the particular practice I'm drawing from is from my friend Jacoby Ballard's book called A Queer Dharma. And I'm going to read a little bit of what Jacoby has to say about how we remain sustainable in our work of doing justice, how we can not let that discomfort shut us down. Things like anger, things like discomfort. It can be really easy for our central nervous systems to want to resist feeling anything. And so this is what Jacoby says in this book. It is my spiritual work to change how I relate to hate, violence, and injustice. I must create boundaries that protect me from internalizing harm while practicing compassion that allows me to remain sensitive to suffering around the world and in my own life. Holding on to anger and rage literally makes one unhealthy and creates harm in our lives. We need to create space to attend to the grief, move the energy of the anger out, and show up with wisdom and commitment. Anger tells us to pay attention. It gives us the energy to do something, for something precious is being killed, injured, threatened, tarnished, taken, abused, polluted, appropriated, or harmed. Take note of anger's energy and release it before speaking or acting. Otherwise, its fire may know no bounds and may hurt those close and nearby. For me, after the heat in my body has passed, after my jaw has loosened, after deep breaths are again easy to access, after the righteous story that I created and rehearsed in my mind has dissipated, then I speak. Then I do the change work. I make the call. We can shift how we relate to violence and injustice while still doing everything we can to counteract it and build a better world. We need the world to exist with us in it, still alive, change makers and visionaries, healthy and vital. So how we do the work really matters. We want to do our social justice work in a way that is reparative, restorative, revitalizing, so that we're not worn out with broken hearts and broken bodies when the world we want arrives. So this is going to be a breath experience. This is going to be the practice we do before we move into mantra, which are sung phrases. So if you want to move your body a little bit here and just reestablish your connection with your seat, you can close your eyes if you like and just invite yourself to focus on the breath, the rise and fall of your breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Your eyes can be closed or downcast. And what I'll invite you to do for some of your breaths, the next preceding breaths in and out, is to say inwardly with each breath, breathing in love, And outwardly with each exhale, breathing out love. On the inhale, breathe in that love that surrounds you. On the exhale, return that love to the world. Breathing in love, breathing out love. Breathing in that love that surrounds you, returning that love out into the world. We'll do that 2 more times. Breathing in love, breathing out love, breathing in love, breathing out love. And at this time, you might shift the words that you're repeating inwardly to breathing in suffering and breathing out love. Here we intentionally turn towards suffering, we let it touch our heart, and we return love rather than passing or bypassing the suffering. We can empower ourselves to be in relationship with suffering while being purposeful to breathe out love. Breathing in suffering and breathe out love. If this feels overwhelming, you can open your eyes and look around and just breathe in a way that feels supportive. Otherwise, you can continue to breathe in love, breathe in suffering, breathe out love. Breathe in suffering, breathe out love. Breathe in suffering, breathe out love. And then switching this, shifting this to breathing in love and breathing out suffering. Breathing love into your own body and letting go of your own suffering, any armor you're holding, resentment, fear, or anger. Breathing in love and breathing out suffering. Breathing in love, breathing out suffering. And then finally returning to the original words, breathing in love, breathing out love. Beholding and drawing in the beauty and brilliance of this world. Breathing out love to invite yourself into the practice of generosity, sharing what you love and offering your time, love, resources, and attention. So you're welcome as we shift into mantra to maintain that awareness of breathing in love and breathing out love. You can repeat the mantras with me, or you can stay with your breath, doing what feels right for you. This first mantra, which is a sung phrase that is repeated. Peace, peace, peace. Peace on the earth. Peace, peace, peace for all the universe. We'll sing this a few times. Peace, peace, peace. Peace on earth. Peace, peace, peace. singing our prayers, embodying our prayers, inviting any imagery that comes to mind to be part of your embodied prayer. The next mantra we're going to participate in is one that I wrote, and it's influenced by a mantra that is a foundational mantra for me in my life. It's it comes from the yogic tradition, and the mantra is Loka Samasta Sukhinu Bhavantu. And what that means is, may all beings be well, be free and safe from harm, and have peace. And may my thoughts, words, and actions contribute to that freedom, wellness, safety, and peace of all life. And so when I sort of expand my framing of that, and my framing of that is, may all beings have access to essential resources to thrive. So that's equity. May all beings be able to freely and safely navigate in their bodies as they show up in those bodies. And may all beings be able to live in peace. So we sing, may all be well, may all be free and safe from harm, may all have peace. And then the mantra, Loka Samasta Sukhinu Bhavantu. Don't worry if you don't get everything. Just follow along the best as you can. Have access to essential resources to thrive. May all beings live free and safe from harm. May all beings have peace. And may my thoughts, words, and actions contribute to that equity, freedom, safety, and peace of all beings. So the last mantra, before we have a little bit of silent meditation and a blessing, is Shanti, which means peace. So you're welcome to sing that along with me. Shanti, 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 So breathing in and breathing out. We'll leave each other with a blessing, and I'm going to just place one more time, since I know we had a couple people come on after the call started, the link to Mennonite Central Committee, which does a lot of work in working with refugees and people displaced by war. So you're welcome to donate there. There's a link that can take you directly towards the Ukraine if that is where your heart is being drawn towards. And there are other really equally important initiatives is there as well. And so I'm going to invite us into this blessing, and this is the blessing of compassion, and we'll be using our hands on different parts of our body. And compassion holds both beauty and challenge, united with all beings, their joy and their sorrow, or our joy and our sorrow, because of this deep and intimate connection. So we want to approach each other with non-judgment and unconditional love, and starting with ourselves. So you might take your hand to your forehead, offering yourself this blessing. May I approach all other beings with compassion, observing them with kindness, letting go of harsh judgments. Touching your ears. May I be aware of the suffering of those around me and of all those in the cosmos. May my ears be open to hear their cries of distress. And your mouth. May I have the courage and wisdom to speak up for those who are wronged, to be a voice for those who suffer from injustice in any form. Opening your hands. May I be open to receive from others when I am in need. May I be ready to give when someone else needs to receive my gifts. And touching your own heart. May I be willing to meet my own suffering. May I offer deep compassion to myself. And touching faith gave me strength and stability. And then you can wrap your arms around yourself. May I always know the shelter of the God of my understanding when I am hurting and in pain. May I trust this compassionate being to protect me and to comfort me. May I, you, and all beings live in peace. So thank you so much for coming. I'm going to turn the recording off, and if anybody wants to share post-recording, you have the opportunity to do so.